Hello, massage therapists. Hello, especially my massage therapists in Australia. Manual therapists anywhere, really. Hi guys, how's it going? I got a really nice package in the mail today. I got a package from Australia. Love getting packages from Australia. I got a nice little package that contained the journal from the Massage and Myotherapy Association of Australia. They put out amazing journals, by the way, absolutely fantastic, evidence-informed research, fantastic editorial team, and content writers, fantastic, amazing. Anyways, they asked me a long time ago to write an article. They were highlighting a journal for the shoulder. And they said, we'd like you to write an article on the shoulder. And quite honestly, I sat there and thought, well, what the hell am I going to write on? Like, what am I going to write on that you guys haven't already seen from everybody else, all about the shoulder? So I thought, well, I'm gonna go back into my history. I've been practicing 31 years this year. So there was a time earlier on in my career, my first decade of practice, where I had frozen shoulder Fridays. And I had a lady, very nice lady, that came in with painful, discomforting, dysfunctional shoulder. I helped her out with it, and she was part of a frozen shoulder support group that met at Starbucks on Fridays. And they would, a bunch of really nice ladies would get together, they'd have a bunch of coffee, and then they would sit and they would bitch and complain about their shoulders. Well, I helped out this one nice lady, and suddenly my name got passed around the group, and suddenly I was treating all of the ladies. So I would treat them every Friday, and then they would go and they would have more coffee at Starbucks later on, and they would, not only talk about their shoulders, but they would talk about where I put my finger and what structure I, made cranky or I helped. And I treated the group, and as one person would leave the group, their shoulder would feel better, another person would come in, and then I would get that person into the practice, and that was my practice for about 2 years. So I had frozen shoulder Fridays for 2 years. So I thought, well, I'll write about that, but we'll also write about sort of the anatomy and the physiology and our current understanding of cranky, dysfunctional shoulder, not necessarily frozen shoulder, and we'll look at the history of frozen shoulder. So in the history of the frozen shoulder, I looked into the research that documented the first time the term frozen shoulder was used, the first time it was documented, the freezing, frozen, thawing stages of frozen shoulder, and the self-limiting sort of aspect of it that they talk about, and then the research that disproved all of that. So we looked into all of that stuff, and then I thought, well, how can I make it sort of memorable? So I think I wrote a really nice article. I got some really nice comments from you, so thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. The article looks at all the neurological innervations, the neuromuscular features, the ligamental muscular reflex. We talk about the difference between nociception and pain, because there is a difference. And then we look at all of the nice color wheel of all of the effects of manual therapy and how to work with patients, right? So we don't just treat the condition, we treat the patient first, always, and foremost. And I thought, well, how can I make it memorable? And I really wanted to bring what I'm going to show you. I really wanted to bring this down to Australia, but I only traveled with carry-on, so I couldn't fit it in. But I created a frozen shoulder package, and I took this to the local grocery store and I had them wrap it up and have previously frozen on it. So so this is Wild Canadian Shoulder Blade, and if you look at the date, so the date packaged on is October 4th, 1934. That was the first time the term frozen shoulder was used. The best before date is April 1st, 45. So that's the first time in research that it was documented, the freezing, frozen, and thawing stages in the 2-year self-limiting that we all got taught. And then the total is 2017. So that is the year that all of it got disproved, because we have advanced with our knowledge of science and research and our ability to understand the physiology of the human a lot more in depth. And we know that there's not just one factor, but painful, discomforting, dysfunctional shoulder is multifactorial. There's so many different things that we have to be aware of, that we have to take into account. And then, we have to decide, okay, well, is manual therapy really applicable to it? Is it the best thing for the patient, or is it better that we refer out to somebody else? So I wanted to bring that down, but I couldn't stick it in my carry-on. And chances are I probably would have gotten called into security also with this. So I'm very honored that I got the package in the mail today for the journal article. It's fantastic. What I'll do is I will post links down below to the article PDF for you guys to read. Also included in the package was the journal post-national conference. So the national conference was in June. I flew down there as the keynote speaker, had a fantastic time. The association is amazing. The membership was fantastic. You guys are fantastic. Amazing conversations with all of you at the dinner, and getting snacks in breaks in between courses. And amazing questions when I was up on stage presenting and demonstrating. Fantastic questions from the crowd. I tried to answer it as best I could with science. But they said it was one of the best conferences that they'd ever had, and I think that is heavily in part to that the National Association's elves. So Anne, Dave, Gary, Daniel, Kate, Megan, Nathan, they were like the driving force that made that conference the amazing conference that it was, and everybody walked away so happy. There were no complaints. There were no complaints. The food was amazing. The venue was amazing. The other instructors that were teaching courses were fantastic. I sat in on their courses. They're amazing instructors. So it's fantastic. Anyways, so they came to me and they said, we're going to put your face on the cover. And I went, no. You should put the association elves on the cover, because you guys did all the hard work. You were wrangling cats, right? Geelong cats. See how I did that? They were like herding cats the whole time. So it should have been them. But they stuck my face on the cover. Okay. So I'm honored and humbled. I still think it should have been the association members, but I had a fantastic time down there. I wrote a nice little article that basically thanked everybody for coming up and for communicating and for talking to me and asking questions and just making it one of the most memorable experiences of my career. I also used you guys as a testing ground. I brought down my second edition book on ligament pain. 2/3 of this, so 2/3 of it is the science of understanding the experience of pain and pain perception and the experience of pain. So it's very heavily science and research supported. Tons of references in this. You guys were fantastic. I was absolutely humbled that this sold out. I brought a bunch of books to Perth for the conference, a bunch of books to Melbourne for the courses afterwards. I had great comments and testimonials from everybody who got the book and who looked at it overnight and read through it. Thank you to everybody who I asked to email me all the mistakes, found all the mistakes, and have made all the corrections. Thank you so much. This is going to be getting printed in early of 26. This is my only copy left. Out of all the books that I had sent down to Australia, I was able to just hide one and keep it back. So this is the only one that exists now that is in the world. Everybody in Australia's got one. Nobody else anywhere else has got one. So thank you so much to everybody who bought the book, who gave me the comments on it and the testimonials. I greatly appreciate it. You can go to ligamentpain.com and you can purchase the book. This is going to be printing in early 26. So that's when you can expect to be sort of receiving the book. Yeah, I'm incredibly thankful and humbled to have been down there and use you guys as a testing ground for launching for the book. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Receiving the package today for both, we'll cover up my face, for both journals was just amazing today. It made my day. I really needed it. So thank you so much to everybody. Had a fantastic time. Thank you to Anne and her husband for taking me to a Geelong Cats game. They didn't win. And I did see that they made it into the finals and then they didn't win the finals. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I had a fantastic time at the Geelong Cats game. It was fantastic. Had a meat pasty. It was great. So anyways, just wanted to say thanks to everybody and looking forward to see you guys again soon sometime. Thanks, guys.